I did it. I finally did it. It was probably close to 3 years in the making now, but I finally did it. I finally bought a microphone. Right now, clearly, it's still in the box, and you're gonna be able to tell the difference, but I'm so excited. I did a bunch of research and decided on this one. It is for a starting person, everything that you need. So it has the microphone, obviously. It has the little like holder mount that would go on top of the camera. It has the little cord for the microphone to connect to the camera, and it also has the furry little windshield thing, which would be useful if I'm ever like outside and it's windy. It is winter, so this is going to become so helpful. Videos really rely on good audio, and this is just not cutting it. I'm sure you've seen in some of my videos, I use my phone to record like voiceovers and then I just connect them together. That's a lot of extra work, and honestly, it's still not even that great. So this is what I'm hoping this will fix, is having a microphone on my camera that picks up the right audio and it's nice. So this is it without it. We're gonna unbox it and then we're gonna try and test this out. This is the box. We are going to open it together. But this is what the inside of the box looks like, so you can see the little furry, I think this is called a dead cat. Oh, it's all connected together. Okay, cool. And then the rest in here is the cords, and then I believe this is all just like the instruction manuals, like a sticker, and then these little things to make sure like any moisture would be soaked into one of those. This is so cool. It's kind of a little bit bigger than I thought. So I have a iPhone 12 mini, so this is a small phone, and it's probably about the same size as that. So if you want like a reference, iPhone 12 mini and this are about the same size lengthwise. I'm gonna take the dead cat off just because I want to see what it looks like. You know when you have new things and you try to be like super careful? This is what this is. This probably should not take as long as it is, but I'm being overly careful because I'm nervous. Oop. Okay. So this is the actual microphone. I am assuming, because I'm not an expert here, but this is where you actually talk and it picks it up, and then in here is where you would plug in the cord and then connect that to your camera. And this is a little holder. I see no reason for these ever to be disconnected from each other, but I just wanted to see how it all worked. So because I'm inside, I'm actually not going to use the dead cat. The dead cat is really just for wind resistance from what I've gathered. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But this should be perfectly fine by itself inside. And then if I ever need to go outside, I'll just grab the dead cat, put it on top, and then it'll be good. But yeah, let's try this. Okay, so the microphone is on, should be working. I just watched a whole bunch of videos about this microphone and this camera that I have and making sure it all works. I changed some settings and we're about to see, but I won't know until I finish this clip, put it on my camera, and then if it's working, we're gonna test out just how far away and in different areas of my house this microphone will be able to pick up my voice and not have just other things going around. But I am excited. This seems really cool. If it works, this is amazing. I want to be able to like just make better quality videos, and audio is literally half of making a video. So this is my living room. You already know this from last week's video if you watched that, of just cleaning. But I want to see, I'm probably, I'd say like 10 feet away from y'all. I want to see how good the audio is from this far, and then I'm going to move back and we're going to see that, and then we're going to go in the kitchen where it's very echoey, because this has a lot of like soft stuff. I have my sofa, we have cushions, blankets, all of those things. So this is there's a lot of things to muffle the sound and not have an echo. So in the kitchen, that's a whole different story. It's all just hard, like rigid, like shelving, tiles, stuff like that. But I'm gonna move back. I was watching McKenna, just in case you're wondering who that is. I'm gonna move back though and see how far this mic can reach. Okay, so I'm way over here. I can hear an echo. I don't know if that's gonna be picked up in the microphone though, but we will see. Okay, and now we are in the kitchen. I can definitely hear an echo in here because of all the hard surfaces. So I'm interested to see what this microphone picks up, if it can pick up the echo that I can hear or if that muffles out. I did add the windbreaker just because, I don't know, in my head it sounds like something would work. But this is from, again, 10 feet, and then this is from, like, I'm literally against the wall. I can hear an echo very badly back here. I hope that test worked. I hope it did well. It's interesting to know. And I get it if, like, you're not interested in knowing. Microphones are not interesting to you. This isn't what you want to be doing, but I'm really excited and I want to test this out with you. And if this is something you want to try, if making videos or anything like that is something that interests you, here's a small tutorial. I would not call myself a professional, but it is really interesting. It's something I like to watch, is just to know what someone whose job is not video creation and who's not a tech YouTuber whose whole job is just reviewing tech. I like to see what, like, a normal person or someone who isn't quite doing tech stuff or isn't doing, like, the normal thing of why you would get a review for a microphone. So this is the Rode Video Micro. I'm using a Rebel T6i. And yeah, I think it's working really well. I do notice I have to talk a little bit louder than I normally do. That could just be because I'm not used to it and I feel like I have to project my voice more. But yes, this is what the setup is going to be from now on, and hopefully the audio is good or way better, and yeah, it's just going to be more enjoyable. I had a complete video clip explaining what I'm doing here, but the entire thing is blurry, so I'm just going to explain it to you now while you see me actually do it. If you have seen, maybe like 3-4 weeks ago, I drew some of these little campers. It was just something I did. I felt like drawing one day, didn't really feel very productive, and that's just what I ended up with. I actually really do like them, and I wanted to make them into a pattern. I have 2 patterns that I think would actually work really, really well with. So what I'm doing here is taking a photo of the page with my iPad and then opening it in Procreate. I then just set the campers how I like them. I lower their opacity so I can see them very faintly, but it's easier for me to draw over them. Now, I may do this completely different than other people. I have no idea. But I use Illustrator to go from a JPEG image to a vector image, and I use image trace. I've noticed when I do it, if my image and the colors especially in the image that I draw are not very contrasted, then the lines of whatever illustration I have get kind of blurry, it can get messy. You can always fix that, but just save myself time. I've realized that if I use very contrasted colors, even though I would definitely never use this in my own work as a final product color, it works really, really well to be able to vectorize my illustrations and keep the colors as one, keep the colors in a way that I can recolor them easily and not have to like finesse the points and change that around and all of that. So I've done this with my butterfly print, which is actually one of the patterns that inspired this. But all I do is mainly use black and like a neon green that you can see here. In this particular one, because there's different elements, I also add in like a goldish orange and also kind of like a corally red pink. All of them, again, very contrasted colors. So when I bring this into Illustrator and I image trace it, it's able to pick up the colors because they're so clearly different. it's not two very similar colors right next to each other, so the lines are just crisper, in my opinion. There may be a better way to go about this, but this is the way I do it right now. So I'm just going to kind of speed this up. It's a lot of campers that I end up drawing, and I didn't quite realize exactly what I was undertaking when I decided to draw each one very uniquely. It ended up being almost 20 campers total that's going to be in this pattern, so it's quite a lot more than I usually do. I normally do about like 7 or 8 elements total in a pattern. This one has 20 campers just by itself, and I'm also going to add in a tree that I had drawn probably about 2 days ago, just in the morning during one of my drawing morning sessions. I really like the way it turned out, and it's going to give it a little bit of depth. I want patterns going into the new year to just be a little bit more intricate, a little bit more interesting, and have layers to them. So for this one, I want to have trees with a whole bunch of campers around, looking like they're just a bunch of camping spots. And I'm keeping in mind as I'm drawing this that this pattern will be on Spoonflower. I'm also planning on making it into kind of like a bundle pack, so you would be able, if you bought the bundle pack, would have each of these little bitty campers individual as PNGs, as well as the patterns and maybe art prints. So I'm keeping all of that in mind of what kind of art prints I could make with this, how it all flows together. So all of these things are going through my mind as I'm drawing it, as I'm going to be making the pattern. I'm keeping in mind that if I do want to make this into a bundle, there needs to be a few more elements, and I need to keep certain things separate so that way I can make them into their own PNGs and all of that. Here it is all done. This is the camper, and I also made 2 different trees. I want to do a layered pattern where these trees will be a little bit different color than the background, and then have the campers over it. But like I had said, doing the neon colors helps when bringing it into Illustrator and vectorizing, so I'm going to do that right now. I just go right here, go to share, do JPEG, and then I airdrop both images into my computer that's right over here. The camper pattern is all done. It took a little bit longer than I thought it would, but she's looking cute. I'll pop her up right here. I did 2 different colorways, and I think I like the cream one better, but I'm not really sure. I have them next to the other 2 that I was talking about earlier, which I'll put again here. You tell me which one you like more. Do you like the green one next to the other 2, or do you like the cream one next to the other 2? I don't really know. I kind of like both. The sun is going in and out because it's the end of the day. So if the light starts to change and get weird, I'm sorry. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I feel like I have the hero pattern and then the 2 filler patterns. Now I want to do probably like 3, maybe 2, I'm not sure, 2 or 3 of just kind of a blender, very simple pattern. Probably one's going to be like tribal, and then 2 will be something else that's very camp-esque. But I want to get to that. I want to start drawing, and then that's probably where I'll end my day. Let's clean off my desk first, though, because I don't like drawing in a cluttered space nor having a cluttered space. So, oh, I think my pom-poms are falling out. Oh well, I'll fix that later, but for right now we are going to clean my desk and then we'll start drawing. Okay, so this is what I came up with so far. This is definitely a rough idea, but basically, like I said, with the little tribal symbols, this was supposed to be marshmallows, maybe like a symbol with like marshmallows, a fire, chocolate, and graham crackers, or you can tell I'm leaning more towards doing something with like arrows, a little bit more tribal. I thought about doing little, almost like Boy Scout patches would be cute. So this is a very rough draft. I literally just did this. It's a good way to start. It's a good way to just like get the ideas flowing. It's best to just draw whatever. That's why I have multiple just triangle things, because that's what my brain's saying right now. Will I use all of them? No. But for me, getting everything out of the way, out of my head, putting it on paper, creates more ideas, and I can start thinking things. So the first thing I had drawn were like little mountain things, next were up and down, and then next we added dots. All of my things grow off of each other, and that's how I end up with certain kind of patterns. These patterns are probably the hardest for me, just because they're very kind of abstract. They work with the collection, but by themselves there's nothing really amazing about them. They don't really stand out for anything. They're just filler in the collection. That'll be it for today. As you can tell from the light casting into my office, the sun is going down, and that means Cam's about to be home. We're gonna have dinner and hopefully go to bed very soon because I am exhausted.